It's interesting. Everything you're talking about, adapting behaviors, judgment, there is a individual level, but collectively we have to operate as a team. And that team has to be aligned. At some point, this adaptability and this judgment has to come together to align us as an organization and these individual teams that are the high performance teams that we know are the ones that make high performance businesses. In terms of team alignment and building growth
Mhm.
and building trust within that team and externally, like how do you align people with this philosophy we've been talking about? How does it come into alignment so that companies can use this to grow?
First of all, I think it comes back down to I look at trust as emotional harmony in the workplace. That's what I would say. Do people generally believe they're in a position to be able to speak the truth? We talk about sharp as your authentic self, but do we really mean it? Are you in a place to want to receive feedback? That's a big question as a leader. If I'm going to give you feedback, are you in a place to receive it? And if so, then how do we help make sure that we've got a path to be able to help support that? So I think trust itself is about emotional harmony. What I realized, Steve, as I've got older and I would like to think wiser in my years. I kind of learned that on the gym floor in my early 20s. I would have people come to me of all different ages, typically very older, and trust that they're putting in their greatest fear. A, they don't want to be there. B, they're wearing clothes they don't want to be in. They're having to face into some kind of a superficial body image that they think they should be, but they're not. And I think what I did then, which I've been able to kind of, again, talk about in the book and bring it forward, which is creating a safe space for people. And it's focusing on what I love to talk about is it's about what's right, not who's right. And I think
Mm.
in business, that is what creates trust. It's not when you're in a meeting, who's right, who's got the loudest voice. It's about what's right for this moment and how to move us forward. When you can create that type of environment centered on emotional harmony, psychological safety, those two things run simultaneously, then I think, again, behaviorally, when you make those conversations available, when you make that room available for people to speak, that immediately builds trust and trust becomes behavioral and that becomes repeatable. And that's what people observe. And so I think that for me is one of the biggest things I work very hard to establish. Again, I think something that I was very fortunate to have learned before I even realized what I was being taught from my early career.